Welcome, Kala. It does indeed. Video, audio, and voice check. Welcome, Nix. Welcome, Nemesis. Everybody can take a few minutes if you want to get ready. Grab a snack or a drink, and I'll begin in about 5 minutes. We shall begin now. Simon and Catherine have found the dumb bat, but it's been quarantined. They need to find someone who would know a security cipher so they can gain access. Only with a dumb bat will they be able to enter the abyss and find the lost ark. Press any button to continue. Alright, so what are we doing exactly? This thing, okay, we can put something into there. There's an error message. So this is the pilot seat. This is how we entered everything. Brainwaves go into machine. Yeah, we're gonna be made to machine, I think. Oh! Can we just take this out? Oh. Oh. So here's the tutor, the tutor end. I see. Move around. Oh, okay. Controls. No! Key bindings. Alright. Run is left shift. Okay. Space. So E is cancel. I guess it's just heavy. That's all. Put it underneath here. It's just heavy, that's all. Alright. So then, we can... Oh, nope, that's not going to work. Put it somewhere where we don't need it. Well, it doesn't look good. This. Who's with me here in the chat? Get out of here. Oh.
Simon, the last report filed by the staff mentioned struggling with something called a proxy. The proxy we killed was blind, just like Akers, but it listens. Careful, we spotted 2 more by the infirmary.
What do they look like?
Not sure. It seems to be human enough to pass for a crew member at a distance. Tall, dark, and ultimately faceless seems to be what to look out for.
I'll keep my eyes open.
Uh-oh, these proxies are in danger. Welcome, Richie. We have a new enemy. New enemy! I gotta hide preemptively. New enemy. Proxy. Alright, so let's try this again. Oh, we have 2 things. Oh, this is cool. Okay, we got 2. This one, with the blueprints, we have 2 things. Let's see. Okay. Arc. Bro, okay. So we got this. Got that. This one has 2. I bet our proxy's back there. I sense it. Can't relay Jarrett. Audio recording. We can erase people on here. I don't want to do that. Probably have to.
Strasky? Come in. I need help in the lab. The scan room.
What happened?
Conrad killed himself after the scan.
Want to check out as they go into the Ark. Welcome, Millie. Just making sure there's nothing else we can do. Welcome back, Kella.
The legacy scan of me that was on the computer. What did you use it for?
It's a template that has an intelligence pathwork already etched into the base. So, if I wanted to build an AI, I wouldn't have to reinvent a whole model. I would be able to focus on the things that the AI is to be used for.
Is every AI self-aware? Do they also think they're Simon?
What? No, Simon, don't worry. It's not like we just put people into robots and machinery and let them roam free.
Ah.
That'd be really cruel. It doesn't work like that. Or at least it didn't used to work like that. Truly sentient machines, thinking they are people is definitely new.
But you kept them sentient for the Ark.
Yes, and I basically had to invent the method.
So, you're not worried that there are other Simons or Catherines running around out there?
Now I am. Geez, Simon, some thoughts are better left alone. Hey, that's my room.
You want me to bring something? A souvenir?
No, it's just memories.
Thank you, Cal. We might have to retreat back here, so.
I wonder what the real Simon would have thought if he knew about me.
What do you mean? You do know about yourself.
No, I mean the real Simon. The human Simon.
Going by your reactions, I'd say he'd be pretty upset.
Yes, Robin. Okay. Alright, let's activate some things here. Now there is a health station right there. Alright, what's happening down here? Well, I know what I suspected. Mighty noise. Hello? Ah! Something just happened. I know, Cal. Very creepy. Oop, I see me. One of them thingers. Bye-bye. Ah! Okay. Well, that was interesting. Alright. So, I don't know how to do that. Kill that exactly. I guess we have to go back there somehow. There's something back there we need. Okay, we're going back. We're going back to save game. Yeah, I died. I know. No. Hmm. Oh, I did not know you could do that. That's good to know. Alright. You fell asleep to the scariest part of the game? How is that even possible? Swipe Omni tool. Okay, that's our exit probably. Our exit is through there.
The laboratory terminals have lost contact with the mainframe. We need to reset the router downstairs.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Yes, really. One of these had 2 readers on it. This one has 1 reader. And a broken reader. Welcome back, girl. We encountered a scary monster back, girl. Scary monster killed me. Okay, we gotta go back to the monster, unfortunately. Yes, back, girl. We gotta go back to it now. Because it contains something we need. It's guarding something we need. Okay, back, girl. Okay, back, girl. Thank you. Welcome back, Richie. Time to confront the scary monster. Okay, Richie. See you later. Let me try something here. Cancel interact. Okay, there's 2 items. Welcome, Nemo. No problem, Nemo. We aren't getting anywhere now. We went. Went this way last time. Alright, we got somewhere. Mainframe. How do we reach? Uh-oh. Okay. That is the proxy, you know, it's the latest monster. I don't think looking at it will harm us. What are we supposed to do? We have to turn on that computer, restore mains power. It's right underneath us. Can't really see us if we're up here. Or can't We're gonna go in the red room. Welcome, yes. Welcome back, Nemesis. We're facing the proxy. unplug somebody or do something. He's stuck out there, that's good. And he'll leave us in peace, in theory, in here. All of this, my intuition says we should unplug something to restore power. But let's unplug something. Well, I don't see any way to do that. I am lost at this point, officially. So we are retreating to a point of safety. Okay, Nemo. Nemesis. Already died once, so. Oh, Cat is here? Welcome, Cat. I didn't see you. Oh, sorry, Cat. So we have to restore power, but also we have to... I don't know what I'm doing here. Are we supposed to unplug Robin outside? Is that where it comes from? I'm going to do that soon. That's the only thing I can think of. So we need to activate this, which means everything out there. I'm gonna unplug Robin. We're gonna have to do a sad, folks. I don't like to do this, but or can we? Can we even do that? I don't know. No, I don't think we can. Alright. Hope we're not soft locked. I don't know. Lights down there. Okay, Richie. Power up the computer downstairs somehow. Peter Stark. I guess there's another dormitory down that way. So that's coming off of there. What is it, Nemesis? So it should be off in this direction. I'll come back, Richard. So I have 2 of the memory card things. Uh-oh. Okay, back row. So can we pull the plug? I know what to do. Welcome, Mix. Okay, I can't even access it, Mix. I can't. It tells me I need to power it up first. Terminal locked. Let's talk to Catherine again. Down here.
The terminals in my laboratory have lost connection to the mainframe. Head downstairs and reset the router.
Is that it? Have to do dialogue with her?
Go downstairs and reset the router. Go downstairs and reset the router.
Oh, alright. Maybe we should carry something down. Welcome, Nico-san. We're playing Soma. I don't know how to do that. Probably. I don't know how to do that, guys. How do you reset that thing? Oh, there might have been. No, I don't see anything. Does this count? Oh! Wow, thank you, sir. Well, thank you, sir. Next. I can't solve basic puzzles. I see next. I know. I gotta manually confirm. He's right in my tail. Oh, good. Yes, Batgirl. Yes, exactly.
Good job, Simon.
This better have worked. I'm not going down there again.
I don't think you can kick anything next. Let's see. Now. So let's go back into here and see if those terminal work. We do have a health point there if we did. Thank you, Nix, for helping us along. Alright. Ooh. Slot 1, chip. Loading external device. Oh. Okay. Oh. Imogen Reed. Batch, compress, whatever. Catherine Chun, author. Name Imogen Reed, blah, 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 blah. Guy Kennard. Okay, these are float tank. Network transfer, copy to chip. Okay. Scan room. With the pilot seat, better continuation. Not necessary for ARC. Sensory limiter. Beach. Agreeable external test applied to ARC. Okay, we have stuff. Something. Alright, so let's try to load these things on. Oh, that's interesting email.
Go ahead, plug in that chip you found.
That sounds dangerous. Let's just see if we got anything over here. Ah, scan log. Schedule. That's exactly. We could erase some people. We don't want to do that just yet. Yes, Batgirl. That sounds like a story there. Where's she?
There should be a list of people. See if there's anyone who could know a security cipher.
Alright. Subject, blah blah. Initially, okay, she said she'd help out delivering Ark. Okay. Killed self because continuity. Strohmeyer is really mad. Had attacked security Ark project on hold. Sarah. 3 minutes. Okay, Shishwanez. Delta refugee construct wrangler. He's working for. Okay, we can update this stuff.
No, it won't work. We need someone from Theta Security Group.
From Theta. No. Does it say? No. Okay, we're just gonna go through all of them and see what happens.
That one won't work either. Look for security people like Kronstadt or Strohmeyer.
Oh. Peter Strosky. North England. Same country, I guess. Strosky, she, cheerful and funny as always on there. Security. There is no actual security people, or? Works for Strohmeyer.
Very promising. I'll just load him up and get the simulator going. There we are.
What are we doing exactly?
We're gonna have a talk with Mr. Wan. Use the computer to activate the simulation.
Okay. Environment, I guess. If we can go.
That wasn't so bad. Strohmeyer really got me worked up, bastard. What? Where did you... Alice?
Congratulations, Mr. Wan. The scan was successful.
Chun? Where's Alice?
She left. Mr. Wan, I need you to give me the new security cipher.
What? Why? Why would you need that? This is the trick.
No, it's okay, I promise.
I knew you couldn't be trusted. None of this is real. But you won't break me, WoW. You hear me? You won't break me!
Did we just bring that guy to life? I mean, he's a perfect scan, meant for the Ark. He's the real deal. And we turned him off. Took it all away again.
I really thought that was gonna work. Maybe we can try again.
Okay, so not the scan room, but a more pleasant environment.
That wasn't so bad. Strohmeyer really got me worked up, bastard.
Wait! Simon, you just reset the simulation.
That wasn't so bad. Strohmeyer really got me worked up, bastard. What? How did I get here?
Mr. Wan, I need your help.
Dr. Chun, is that you?
Archie.
What happened? What is this place?
Just be calm. Take a deep breath and enjoy the scenery for a moment.
Dr. Chun? I hear your voice, but there's no one here. There's no one here. It's empty. It's too empty. There's something really wrong with this place.
Ski Lodge is.
It's not real. This isn't real. I have to get out of here!
Do we need to turn it off? Can we just keep him alive until we've got the cipher?
The longer he's exposed to the computer model, the more he'll get hung up on it.
So, what's wrong with letting him settle in a little?
It would drive him insane. So let's keep the session short and the suffering to a minimum.
That wasn't so bad. Soma really got me worked up, bastard. What? What happened? Where did everyone go?
Mr. Wan,
Chun? What happened? I can't see anything. There's nothing here.
it's okay. It's all a part of the scam.
No, that's a lie. You're lying.
Don't get upset, Mr. Wan.
No. Well, why are you doing this to me?
Simon, what the hell? We need to do this.
That wasn't so bad. Soma really got me worked up, bastard. What? What is this? Where am I?
Relax, Mr. Wan. Just keep calm.
Dr. Chun? What the hell is this place?
I need a favor. I need to know what the new security cipher is.
Why are you doing this? Is this some trick? I'm not giving you anything.
Please, we really need that cipher.
No, you're lying. This is all a lie. Look at this place. It's a fucking joke. Get me out of here, Chun, or I'll punch your teeth in!
I think we need to build the scene so it's more what he'd expect. As soon as he starts to doubt, we've lost him.
You're right. We need to think this through. We need some more data.
Always. More data. Can we get more data from here? Okay, thank you, next.
Here we go, Brandon Wan's room. I'll just override the lock for you. If we get to know him, maybe we can make the simulation a little smoother.
Brandon, you ready to go? Strohmeyer says it's time to move.
I'm waiting for Stratsky and Alvaro to pack up their stuff. Head downstairs and I'll meet you there.
Don't take too long.
Don't worry, we're right behind you.
Seems like they were getting ready to leave. Heard some lady telling Brandon to hurry up.
You got that from the intercom? Must be a transmission buffer. Hang on. That's Alice Coster. Wouldn't have guessed they even knew of each other. Interesting.
Staff Wrangler, Brandon Wan. Okay. Brandon, I'm really a mess about the scan. Everyone is being so brave. All smiles, no regrets. You know how you said you would hold my hand during the scan. If the offer still stands, I gratefully accept. If we do it together, we could suffer the hangover together as well. They say it takes a couple of days to recover. Kisses, Alice.
There's a note from Alice that makes me think she was scanned alongside Brandon.
Okay, that sounds really promising. We can definitely use that. I think we got this, Simon. I can synthesize Alice's voice from the intercom and use it to impersonate her for the simulation. We could trick them into feeling safe enough to open up.
Great. Definitely feeling good about this.
Good job with the intercom. I didn't know you could data mine. What's it like?
It's just something that I do now.
So it comes naturally to you. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I'll make sure to add it to my dating profile. I found more evidence suggesting they were together during the scan.
That's okay, Sherlock. We got it already. We should focus on simulating Brandon Wan.
Yeah, she's very much like Nenex.
I compiled an Alice module that we can use.
So she'll be with Brandon in the simulation.
Sort of. I'll still need to do the talking, but it'll sound and look like Alice.
Alright. Probably in the scan room. Oh, as Alice.
That wasn't so bad. Stromar really got me worked up, bastard.
Well, that's what you get for listening to his stories.
I guess I had it coming.
About Stromer. He said he needed a new cipher ASAP. What should I tell him?
It's alright. I can talk to him.
Wait, didn't Sean just tell you to take it easy? Don't worry, I'm not gonna tell anyone.
I do feel hungover. Okay. It's 1729 over 42, 12 over 407. Got it?
Yeah, I got it. I'm sorry, Mr. Long. Brandon. Goodbye.
What do you mean? No, wait.
That's enough. We got what we need.
Is that what we are? Simulations?
Yeah, but it shouldn't make any difference. You're still you. I'm not sure what to do with the data. You decide.
So we got a bunch of data I've already forgotten. Now I figure out what to do. Oh. You guys see this thing? Ah, they're not useful anymore. Interesting.
Simon, we got it. We can get to the Dunbat now. Get back here.
See you later, Richie. Oh, thank you for remembering back home. Put a pin in that.
There you are. Just warming up the Dunbat for us. It's been collecting dust for months, so it might need a minute. Okay, that's it. That's everything. Let's go ahead and... Huh. That's weird. Huh. Never mind.
What do you need me to do?
Head inside the dock. The Omnitool can open the door now. And get into the Dunbat. Then plug me in, and I'll take us into the Abyss.
Sounds easy enough.
Should I take Catherine with us? Oh, it's over here. Hopefully no monsters over here. Thank goodness. Danger! Restricted area. Do not enter. Alright. Kanji. Warning! Watch out for moving doors. This machine is remotely controlled and may start without warning. Welcome, JD. This would help. That was not a good outcome. I think we destroyed the Dunbat. We can escape now. No, JD, this game is so sad. Okay. New maze time. Better not be a monster in these tunnels. Oh, that's good, Nemo. Should we do this? I think we should. Alright, new area. Okay, we can do that, we can do this. Documents, ARC locator. I've decided to finalize ARC scans we have. This is Catherine. I'm sorry for all of you who want to go, but I can't get a chance to scan yourselves. The project's put on hold. It's been 2 months. I've had a scan. I don't see how I'll ever be able to win back the support. I'm sorry. I never meant anyone to take their lives. Okay. What's left? Apply interface module. Seal ARC. Ask permission from 4Q. Brief Ivanskin, Lindwall, Peterson, Hill. Take shuttle Omicron. Pick up power suits. Ride the climber into the abyss. Regroup at Tau. Head to launch. Load bullet. Launch ARC. Multi-person purpose volume.
Huh? Wait, this isn't... Oh, no! WoW got to the Dunbat before we did, am I right?
Well, it was talking. That's rarely a good sign.
Damn it. The Dunbat was our best shot. I was really banking on this to work.
Come on, we can't quit now. There's gotta be another way. How do you think you did it? How did the team get the Ark down the abyss in the first place?
If they didn't use the Dunbat, the only other way would be the climber at Omicron. It's like an elevator which supposedly reaches all the way down into the abyss.
Okay, so we do that. We go to Omicron and take the elevator.
Yeah, okay. Sure. We'll just head over to Omicron and hope there's a power suit that fits you. You know, so you don't implode while in the abyss.
That does sound useful.
Alright, let's go then. Wait, what is this place? Seems to be a lot of information on the Ark here. There's a prototype and everything.
Okay.
Let's start it up. I want to see how it works. Maybe we can figure out how to get on the Ark.
You didn't know how to get us on?
How difficult could it be?
Put on your suit and body harness. Check HPS for any visual damage. Starting with the legs, fix parts onto harness and work yourself upwards. Lock all the pieces together as you go. Let a partner help you with the back piece and torso. Tap, well, we don't have one of those. Tap the secure button on your arm piece. You should hear the suit seal. The suit will then start to equalize pressure and tap into oxygen. If the suit doesn't seal itself, flex the shock absorbers and try again. If it still doesn't work, do not try to fix it yourself. Contact maintenance. Note, the HPS are very heavy and the suit will compensate. You will need effectively stronger than you think you are. Alright.
Wow, that's so cool. It's the whole gang.
A crew photo? Really? Who are you saving this for? The world was dead.
Thanks, Simon. I thought being an asshole wasn't invented until the 22nd century. Now I know better.
Alright. I guess you go in there. Oh, this is up. Okay. So guys, I'm going to take a few minutes off, get a snack, and I'll be right back. Must not be a UX operation, macro. Aloha, Gian. It's been a long time. How's it going, Gian? I know it's tough out there.
What's this thing?
That's just a compound examiner. Coster uses it to investigate structural integrity in payload frameworks.
Of course.
Could you fit inside it? If I knew what you were made of, it would be a hell of a lot easier to figure out how to get you on the Ark.
I'll give it a try.
I'm sorry to jam.
Bit of a tight fit.
Can you reach the on switch?
Should I be worried about radiation?
I think we're beyond that. Interesting. You seem to be one with the diving suit you're wearing. Everything's meshed together.
How's that gonna work with the suit we're picking up at Omicron?
I think they're bigger. You should be able to wear them both.
Imogen? Who's that?
It looks like the basis for your body is one of my old colleagues. A standard Cortex chip for robots, including the data reader and the OcuTorch, has just been forced through the skull.
What?
Structure gel has fused the whole construction together. Amazing stuff.
No, hold on, back up. I'm one of your old colleagues?
Well, your body is. Imogen Reed.
That's disgusting.
Hey, don't say that. She was nice to me. Anyway, the Cortex chip is good news. That means we can transfer your mind to the Ark with a pilot seat.
Kath, I'm half a dead person.
Yes, it makes sense. Think about it. All those simplistic minds we've run into, just reviving a dead person doesn't seem to work that well. A robot body seems to make people a bit unreliable. You are the best of both worlds. A sound mind and a sound body.
At least we know how to get on the Ark.
Sort of. I understand the concept, but I don't know the specifics. I really wish we could figure out how the scan data is formulated and processed.
Let's see. So now we have to go in.
Start an Ark simulation. I want to see how it works.
decision. Okay. Arc simulation. Approximately 43% memory corrupted. Simulation configuration necessary. Okay. We can select all these things. Memory. It's corrupted or something. Oh, that's nice macro. What are we supposed to do? We have all these systems. We don't have the memory for them or something? Start a simulation. These guys.
Get an arc simulation going.
What's left? Okay. Oh. There's a back button. Yay! Gauge staff opinion. Please fill out this short survey. Recently it was decided the ARC project would become Pathos' 2 latest official commitment. The staff had been urged to carry on their duties. Despite Earth's catastrophic condition. I think the ARC project is the main logical step towards saving mankind that we should spend as much time as resources to complete it. Have you played this before, Gian? Sorry, Gian. To embark, every passenger needs to be flushed with electromagnetism using a pilot seat. These scanning sessions are known to cause nausea headaches, similar to those lasting 3 days. I think temporary physical discomfort, no matter how severe, is a small price to save mankind. The Ark is built to fit a Ranger Mark 7 probe, meaning it could be shot into space with the Omega space gun, and technically survive 1,000 years, living off the light from our sun and distant stars. I think Ark should leave Earth behind and launch into space. Okay. Okay, Jen. The digitization of humanity is an opportunity to make a quantum leap in our own evolution. People inside ARC will, out of necessity, be generated from existing genetic code, but could be altered to allow for cosmetic change, ease aging, even prevent death. We are at risk of losing our humanity if we were to get rid of ourselves and disease from... I don't know. There are only 58 people left alive stored at ARC. A way to diversify and expand the population would be to introduce artificial intelligence that would be in every way appear to be human, but with a childlike and naive sensibility. As we continue to explore the nature of intelligence, we may find a way to make them smarter in the future. I think even an inferior group of artificial people would benefit us. Yes. Okay. Thank you for participating. Okay. ARC locator. We gotta go down here. Documents. Okay. I don't know how to do a simulation now. I feel like we could leave a little while ago, but not now. We left her there.
Get an arc simulation going.
Okay, something's gotta be plugged in.
The arc doesn't even look that bulky. This is gonna be easy.
You haven't heard of the concept of jinxing, have you?
Sorry, I forgot your people were superstitious.
You gotta plug it in or something? How does this work? Something here to plug in? Okay, Batgirl. That's a scary quote. So we have to plug something in. A lot of terabytes. System heat. Warm atmosphere. Okay. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be back for a few minutes, guys, and I have to go back out again. Oh, bye-bye, Jan. Nice of you to stop by. So, what do we gotta do? We can go back. You do anything with that? Swipe Omni tool. Maybe we should take our Omni tool. I can't take it. I connect something up. But what? Oh, for an email. Alright guys, I'll be right back.
Okay, Batgirl. Okay, Batgirl. Nice to stop by.
Alright, I am ready. Welcome back, Alan. Yeah, it was like 70 degrees yesterday, and now it's like 40 degrees today. Crazy weather we're having. Alright, so what do we gotta do? We have to somehow do something to simulate the arc. Maybe plug something in or not, or I don't know. Oh, I think we just activate all these things. Is that what we're supposed to do? Oh. If we deselect everything. I see. Maybe we select the right things. Okay. So let's do clouds, foliage, sun, systems, physics soft, warm atmosphere, interface, um, vegetation, or advanced vegetation, Soma hum, a dirt road, beach, cabin, the boat and a lake, really the road, really the hum. What are we supposed to do? Advanced visitation, interface scan. So this is very similar to what we have here, but we have to move the thing over. Is that what we're supposed to do? How do we move it? I might be calling it a day soon, guys. I'm getting confused. And this is the easy part to leave off. Okay, guys. I'm going to call it a day now. And I'm going to thank everybody for showing up. And we'll pick this up next week.
Because it's connecting to your watch? No. No, because I always have my watch on.
The year is 1891, and some workmen in Thomas Hardy's garden are digging out some foundations when they stumble across a problem. Thomas Hardy's garden just happens to be here. Now, that problem they stumble across would turn out to be a large sarsen stone, and it would take many men with many levers a number of hours to remove that problem. In fact, Thomas Hardy would write a poem about this very sarsen stone, which he erected in his garden soon after it was removed from the ground. It remains there to this day. It would take another 90 years from that point in 1891 for us to realise the importance of that sarsen stone and its context here in the landscape. That stone would turn out to potentially be more important than the entire Stonehenge complex. Okay, so have a look at these maps. These are from 1888, 1890, thereabouts. And we have, this is probably the best one, Max Gate House. Now, that was designed by Thomas Hardy in 1885. So the map makers of the time already knew the importance of this landscape. To the immediate east, we have a camp, barrow, and a ditch system, now identified as Bronze Age. And to the west, we have the Iron Age Maiden Castle, already at this point being recognised as having more than one era of history. But at this point, absolutely nothing under or near Thomas Hardy's house and that estate. Now, there is one thing that should have been noted that was found underneath that sarsen stone when he was digging the foundations for an extension or whatever. Come back to that very shortly. Quick side quest. Now, you'll note that the house is called Max Gate House. Well, that was supposedly after a toll gate house just a couple of hundred yards down the road, which was run by somebody called Mack, M-A-C-K. Now, Thomas Hardy said that it was a joke that he was going to name his house Max House. I'm not quite sure I get that joke as such. Maybe I don't understand Victorian humour. But even on those maps of the time, well, then that toll house had changed to Max Gate, M-A-X Gate. I don't know. Anyway, underneath that sarsen stone, well, the builders at the time found some charred remains of some bones and some ashes. Now, that really should have rung some significant alarm bells and would do today, telling us that that sarsen stone wasn't just a random, spurious one-off. It was placed there for a very specific reason. So let's move forward to 1988. The locals of Dorchester are now elated because traffic heading south to the coast from pretty much anywhere no longer has to drive through the town centre of Dorchester. A new bypass skirting around the south of the town is now open. Now, thankfully, this didn't happen a decade or so earlier because we probably wouldn't have had any archaeology, but we do Wessex archaeology get the ball rolling and they start to do some excavation on the site of the new bypass, which would end up going through part of the Thomas Hardy Max Gate House estate. Now, what they found here was nothing short of extraordinary, and combining that excavation with more modern analysis and more analysis of the radiocarbon dating from the stuff they found back there, well, now we get a much better picture of how really that site there should be considered the original Stonehenge. 3500 to 3750 BC. So from the start we have a very irregular collection of pit diggings. Now, whilst this might not look circular, don't forget that we only have half of this to look at owing to the fact that the bypass was constructed, or about to be, in 1980s. But here we are, early Neolithic. Now, for those that want Stonehenge context, well, this is around 500 to 750 years prior to the earthworks when they were first started at Stonehenge. 3100 to 3300 BC. Then we have an interval, and quite a sizable one too on the grander scheme of things, a very approximate 400 years give or take. These early pits were infilled and we have the beginnings of a circular enclosure being constructed here. It's at this point we start to see the site used for funerary activity, and here's the thing, this part seems very similar to Stonehenge, but with one significant difference. We'll come to that very shortly. Now, one of the things I always say is really important to do, at least for me, is to try and have a look at the landscape that you're in when you're talking about a topic like this. So we have the enclosure at the top of that hill back there. I'm trying to find a few more vantage points around here to sort of have a look at it from a different direction, a different perspective. I think in this case particularly that might help us understand a few other noteworthy bits from that site. In this case, the very short-lived funerary use of that enclosure back across the valley there. So we have buried 3 children, one of which was placed underneath a block of sandstone, and we have an adult male as well, cremated in this case, and placed underneath a large sarsen stone. That was it. That was the very short-lived funerary use on that era for another 1,000 years. At that point, we now moved into Bronze Age when we see a young adult male buried right in the centre, again with a sarsen stone placed over the top of his body. Okay. You might be thinking, Paul, this doesn't look anything like a stone circle. Yes, we have some stones placed over some cremations or remains, but Stonehenge is Stonehenge. It's a huge circle, in fact, more than one stone circle. And the thing is, Stonehenge started out just like this. 3000 BC, and we see the first activity there, a circular ditched enclosure. No sarsen stones, no blue stones, nothing like that to speak of, just the outer ditch. From that point forward, we see funerary activity, and thereon for quite some significant time. Now, do you remember the date of this site here in Dorchester, the Flagstone site? Well, we have a strong carbon dating set of data now, and much more in recent times as it's once again been scrutinised in a paper in March 2025. And that told us this monument here adjacent to Dorchester was 200 years before Stonehenge. Definitely worth the view to kind of get a better picture of the landscape and all the various eras of history up here. What exactly does all of this actually mean? Well, for a start, we need to look further into the landscape that's around us. There's so much more to offer than just Stonehenge. There's so much more to learn. And don't get me wrong, Stonehenge is great. It's a great introduction to the eras and what happened. But I think there's a great deal more we're going to learn from it. Now, to date, that is the earliest circular enclosure of its type that we know of in Britain. Now, there are a few others that we know of, but they've yet to be excavated and therefore yet to be dated. And of course, we could end up finding more. But this site is now a marker of some hugely important changes. Firstly, this period in the Middle Neolithic saw a change from inhumations or burial to cremations. And at Stonehenge, we see at least 60 cremations following its enclosure ditch. Now, at Flagstones, here next to Dorchester, we have the enclosure ditch and the funerary activity taking place earlier than Stonehenge, and the cremations of adults along with the burials of children. Well, maybe this represents an early phase of this transition to cremation. And finally, the other thing that this does for us is it marks a period, the earliest period at which we move away from the long linear structures, the burials and the ritual places, the curses and the long barrows of the world, and it moves us into a new world of circles, of course, apart from the Neolithic causeway enclosures. That's a whole of the story. I've been Paul, thanks for watching, click subscribe, and we'll see you this time next week.
Why are you interested in visiting the US?
Officer, I'm planning to visit West Virginia. I've heard it's a beautiful place where we can learn a lot more about the US culture.
Are there any other areas you're planning to visit in the US?
I might visit nearby states if I get the chance.
Alright, do you have any relatives in the US?
No, officer.
How long are you planning to stay in the US?
About 30 days, officer.
That's quite a long time. How will you be supporting your hotel expenses?
Officer, I plan on staying with my girlfriend who will be hosting me during this trip.
Interesting. And still, how would you be supporting yourself during the trip?
I have savings of 2.5 lakhs that I'll be using to support myself.
I'm sorry, I can't approve your visa today. Here's the slip with the details of your rejection.
Well, what was the reason for my rejection? Tell me in the comments down below, and I would like your answer if it is correct.
Why are you interested in visiting the US?
I've engaged you, haven't I? So, what are we going to be covering today? Basically, weather modification. Is it real? Do we have a giant hurricane gun? Does it work? Are chemtrails real? The answer to most of those is kind of. So, let's get into specifically what humans can and cannot do when it comes to weather modification, because the answer might not be what you think. Let's start with a quote from President Lyndon B. Johnson, speaking to Congress in 1962. He who controls the weather will control the world. That's pretty ominous, actually. Thanks, LBJ. I mean, well, look how he got the job. But what exactly was he talking about with that quote? Well, by 1962, the US government had already been experimenting with weather modification for more than 2 decades. And unlike a lot of other projects from that era, we actually have receipts for this one. This is patent US 3429507A, filed in 1966 by the US Navy. It describes a method of cloud particle ionization to influence the formation of precipitation. In other words, it makes clouds rain. Like, look at this. This is not some badly photocopied document from a conspiracy website. This is an actual patent that you can look up right now. But before we get into the actual science of how this works, we need to address the elephant in the room. And yes, it does involve spraying things from planes. Cloud seeding is basically exactly what it sounds like. You're literally seeding clouds to try to make them produce rain. Now, the most common method of doing this involves the use of silver iodide, because it has a very, very similar crystalline structure to that of ice. See, almost identical. And now here's where I'm going to need to take a brief detour to address something. Yes, cloud seeding involves planes spraying chemical substances into the air. No, those are not the contrails you see behind commercial aircraft. This is what a cloud seeding plane looks like. Notice all the special spray equipment? This is a regular commercial jet. It is just a regular plane. The white trails you see behind commercial aircraft it's literally just water vapor. It is hot engine exhaust meeting cold air. It is the same thing that happens when you breathe out on a cold day. Also, I need to address this picture, which is a pet peeve of mine. See all those tanks full of liquid in the back of the plane? Those are not full of chemtrail juice. Those are full of water. They're full of water because this is a picture of a plane testing weight distribution. That is how they get different weight distributions. If they were spraying it, why would they need a bunch of tiny barrels? They would just use one big tank. Anyways, speaking of chemtrails. Actually, no, this probably isn't a very good way to segue into a sponsor spot. See what I did there? Now on to the back half of this video, which I really think is what a lot of you click on here for. Like, yeah, cloud seeding, okay, whatever. That's more or less public knowledge at this point. But what is the deal with HAARP? H-A-A-R-P. Well, this is a question that's tricky to answer, because it deals with the alleged existence of the sort of program that, were it to exist, would be ultra, mega, super duper classified. So this is largely speculative, and take this with a grain of salt, but there do seem to be some things we know. So, firstly, is HAARP real? Well, there is a cop-out answer, which is, yes, definitively. HAARP, or the High Altitude Auroral Research Program, was a research program at the University of Alaska in the late 90s and early 2000s that has since been shut down. It had nothing to do with the weather. This is the, Wikipedia definition. However, you and I both know damn well that is not what you're asking. HAARP is basically a shorthand term for theorized ionosphere-based weather shenanigans. Now, this is sort of filtered down through the general public boomer Facebook post rabbit hole until it morphed into its current incarnation, which is we have a magic hurricane gun that we've been using on ourselves for some reason. Like with a lot of conspiracy theories, they're generally about 30% true. And to explain the origin of the potential kind of kernel of truth that people keep running with, we've got to go back to the Soviet Union. See, this right here is the Duga-8. You might have seen pictures of it or heard it referred to by its nickname, the Woodpecker. See, this is an example of a massive, massive over-the-horizon radar. The Soviets used this to detect airplanes hundreds or even thousands of miles away. This was done by shooting the radar pulse up into the sky and then bouncing the signal back down off of the ionosphere in order to reach places far enough away that they were occluded by the curvature of the Earth. This, much to the chagrin of US ham radio operators, resulted in the radar pulses being audible all the way in the United States. These repetitive bursts of chattering clicks led to it gaining the derisive nickname, the Woodpecker. Now, interestingly, this was a big enough issue that there was kind of a cottage industry for a while in building small, electronic boxes that could be tuned to automatically phase cancel the regular repeating pulses, so you didn't have to keep listening to it endlessly. Now, the underlying principle behind what people are referring to when they say HAARP is basically, hey, what if we did the radio wave thing, but turned it up super loud so that when it hits the ionosphere, it makes the ionosphere go boing, and then it probably does some, weird temperature stuff to the air. Now, this is not an exact quote, but yes, in an insanely rudimentary and reductive sense, that's more or less the idea. Now, the actual degree to which this exists in the real world, rather than just theoretically, is kind of anyone's guess. And anyone who actually knew anything couldn't say anything about it, so anyone with any supposed specifics is sort of like a case of the blind leading stupid, or however that saying goes. Regardless, though, I don't think it's an active use anywhere close to what some people are claiming, just primarily due to the fact that, everyone would know. Keep in mind, the Duga put out enough interference to be a constant nuisance halfway across the globe. Or disk. Or cube. It's a cube, I've seen the corners. And that was just running at regular radar detection levels of power. Now, in order to, boing the ionosphere, it would need to be putting out several magnitudes more power, and, honestly, I feel like it would probably microwave you, in effect, if you were anywhere near the transmitter. So, anyways, to sum it up, weather modification. Real, but kind of underwhelming. Anyone who is adamant that it can do crazy shit, or that we use it all the time, is either a shameless grifter or has 1190s peasant superstition brain. And anyone who is adamant that it doesn't exist at all is either a federal agent or has 1690s pilgrim witch trial brain.
Call me right, I creep it like positive is how I treat. Call me right on the beat with it, bumps all out. Call me about to flip it to the bomb, blade it, throw it out. Call me right, I creep it like positive is how I treat. Call me right on the beat with it, bumps all out. I'm about to flip it to the pound, blade for it.
Miyamoto Musashi actually did a little fighting. He was born a little earlier, and he was a master samurai who taught people martial arts. And from him, you get a sense of some of the operational preferences deriving from these values. And I'm going to go through all of these in turn. First is risk intolerance, because remember at the beginning, I started with the two flag officers saying, well, we're going to do this war in the Pacific when it's unlikely we're going to succeed. We're going to do it anyway. And here's Miyamoto. Furthermore, to fight even 5 or 10 people single-handedly in duels, that's what my military science is all about. So what's the difference between the logic of one person beating up 10 people and 1,000 people beating 10,000? Logistics, my friend, but never mind. And then another thing that he emphasizes, in addition, don't expect long odds to deter the Japanese back in the day. Surprise is another one. Think about a situation that has stalemated and is going nowhere, which is what the China theater was for the Japanese, and how do you get out of it? And the answer that Miyamoto has is not come up with a new policy objective, but come up with a tactic that'll somehow put your enemy off balance and then get what you want that way. And the way the Japanese did this was often by opening a new theater in a war, by surprising people by the new places that you were going to start engaging in military operations. And here's how it worked. China had been a failed state since 1911, and it had had an escalating series of warlords fighting each other in this multilateral civil war. And the Japanese were appalled, particularly after the United States passed the Hawley Smoot Tariff of 1930 that cut them off from international trade. So then they're thinking, now what? Well, we're going to need an empire big enough to survive since no one's going to trade with us. And so they invade all of Manchuria in 1931. They have it pretty much stabilized by 1933. So, okay, that was surprise number one. But the rest of China is a mess. And the Japanese, it's coalescing into a bilateral communist, nationalist under Chiang Kai-shek, communist under Mao Zedong fight with increasing dosages of Soviet aid. And the Japanese are appalled with all this. And so it's time to surprise everybody again in 1937. And that's when they invade all the way down the Chinese coast and up the Yangtze River. And it works. They take a lot of territory really fast, but then they get to the end of the railway system. Oh, and by the way, China's not pacified. It's just churning. And so now Japan is even more overextended. As a result of doing that, Russian aid goes up, and then you're going to get US aid in there. So the problem's actually getting worse. Okay, time for another surprise, really big one. On that infamous day in December 41, it wasn't just Pearl Harbor. That's Team America focusing only on Team America. The Japanese attacked all across the Pacific that day. Okay, now what? Here, China had never been able to threaten the Japanese home islands. Well, the United States. Here, the United States was totally isolationist. Most Americans couldn't find Japan on the map. Well, after Pearl Harbor, they sure could. And suddenly the United States isn't isolationist anymore, and they're coming to get the Japanese. So you can see the samurai values in operation here. Just try harder, more dosages of willpower. Eventually you'll win, or you'll die trying. Okay. Another operational preference that you can see, which is as part of the surprise or preemptive attacks, and this is how Japan began all of its wars. The first Sino-Japanese War and the second Sino-Japanese War, Russo-Japanese War, and the Pacific War. This is how all of them begin. And finally, Miyamoto offers some advice on how you break the enemy willpower. And in this case, you've already won conventionally. They're waging insurgency against you. I'm modernizing the terminology. And the idea is you want a psychological victory. You want them just to quit. And somehow you're going to break their will to resist. And I suspect this is what the Japanese thought they were doing in the rape of Nanjing and other atrocities, that they were going to do these horrifying things, and that would break the will of the other side. Okay, be careful whom you put on death ground.
If you're a Tool fan and at least half as psychotically obsessed with them as I am, I imagine you've heard of the concept known as the Holy Gift. If you're unfamiliar, it's an idea that Tool's magnum opus Lateralis is actually a puzzle to be solved. It theorizes that the official track order you'd find on Apple Music or Spotify is actually incorrect. Instead, the album is rearranged into a mathematical sequence called the Fibonacci sequence. In this sequence, each element is the sum of the two elements that precede it. Starting with the numbers 0 and 1, the sequence would go as follows: 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and so on. You probably know this next part, but I've got to cover my bases. The title track Lateralis is very closely connected to this sequence. When the sequence is drawn out, it creates what is known as the Fibonacci spiral, which looks something like this. The spiral can be found all around us, in flowers, in pine cones, in the galaxy, and just about everything. On the title track, each phrase follows the sequence in terms of syllables. Black, 1 syllable, then, 1 syllable, white R, 2 syllables, all I see, 3 syllables, in my infancy, 5 syllables. This carries on throughout the song until the song concludes, ending with the phrase spiral out. Chances are, if you know an insufferable Tool fan, they've explained this concept to you with their arms crossed, waiting for your mind to be blown. It's really mind-boggling, but the average Joe would most certainly describe the Holy Gift concept as reading far too deep into this music. Whether that's true or not is for you to decide, hopefully by the end of this video. Around 2 years ago, I read a document called the Lateralis Hypothesis. It's an anonymous document uploaded by a now deleted Reddit account, so I can't credit him or her. Who am I kidding? Him. But it's blatantly clear that countless hours of research have gone into this. It attempts to explain the Holy Gift and how the album itself alludes to the existence of this concept and tackles each song's connection to the concept. Without further ado, let's dive into this beast. The author describes himself as an avid listener of music and once upon a time a casual fan of Tool. After an intense psychedelic experience, please don't click off yet, he decided